O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Welcome to today's deep dive, where we are jumping right into, well, magic. But not the dusty tomes and robes kind you're probably picturing.
Right, yeah, I mean, no wands here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our mission today is decoding Peter J. Carroll's texts, Liber Null, and Psychonaut. We're looking at chaos magic not as some mystical hocus-pocus, but as this system of extreme psychological hacking and, probability manipulation.
Yeah, it's fascinating because traditional occultism demanded decades of memorizing dogma, right?
Oh, absolutely. You had to obey these incredibly complex metaphysical maps. But okay, let's unpack this. The core aha moment here is that chaos magic just strips all that down to raw, results-driven neuroscience.
It really does. What's fascinating here is how Carroll basically, he weaponized postmodern skepticism. He took that old maxim, nothing is true, everything is permitted, and turned it into an operating system.
Which brings us to the concept of belief as a tool.
Yeah.
I like to think of it like a temporary software patch. You install belief, maybe strict monotheism or pure nihilism, just to accomplish a specific task.
Right, exactly.
And then you just uninstall it so it doesn't slow down your hard drive.
Yeah, Carroll prescribed this exercise called random belief. You systematically adopt mutually exclusive ideologies just to free the ego from permanent ideology.
Oh, wow. So you become a sort of psychological nomad.
Exactly. You don't build a permanent house in any one belief system, which forces you to empirically demonstrate to yourself that reality bends to your expectations.
But wait, how exactly do we install this software? I mean, simply telling myself I'm a millionaire on a Tuesday afternoon doesn't usually work.
No, it doesn't. And that is because of what Carroll calls the psychic sensor. It's essentially our brain's evolutionary firewall.
Okay, the firewall.
Yeah, it filters out anomalies to keep us sane in our day-to-day lives, but it also blocks intentional psychological reprogramming.
Right, I see.
That block is fueled by our conscious anxiety. So sneak past it, you use the M=GLSB equation, specifically focusing on gnosis and subliminalization.
Wait, gnosis, like some divine enlightenment.
Not quite. Here, gnosis is an intense, altered state of no mind. You achieve it through extreme physical exhaustion or extreme sensory excitation.
Oh, so the brain literally lacks the RAM to maintain its daily anxieties.
Yeah.
The system admin is totally distracted.
You nailed it. The biological system is out of RAM, so the firewall drops.
Okay, but how do we sneak the actual code in? The text mentions avoiding the lust of result. Wait, so I have to entirely forget what I want in order to get it? That sounds impossible.
It does sound like a paradox, I know. But you use sigil magic, specifically the word method, to bypass that conscious anxiety.
How does that work?
You write down your specific desire, scramble the letters into a totally abstract image, and focus entirely on that shape during your peak state of gnosis.
Oh, wow.
Then you destroy the symbol and force yourself to stop thinking about it. The abstract shape slips past the downed firewall.
Because the conscious doubt can't recognize it to corrupt it. That's wild. But okay, if individual belief is just a temporary tool, what happens when radical individualism tries to organize?
Well, you get a massive schism. Carroll and his peers formed a group called the Illuminates of Thanateros, or IoT, in the late 80s.
Right.
But by the 90s, they hit a wall. It was known as the Ice Magic War.
And we should explicitly tell you, the listener, right now that we are just impartially reporting the sources, historical documentation of these political factions here. We strictly remain neutral and are absolutely not endorsing either side.
Yes, definitely. So the text documents a German faction that started promoting ice magic, which had these very rigid, right-wing and authoritarian undertones.
Which obviously clash with the apolitical, anarchist roots of chaos magic.
Violently, yeah.
Yeah.
Carroll saw that authoritarianism not just as a political disagreement, but as an existential threat to the free-form practice itself.
Right.
It led to administrative warfare, alleged telepathic battles, and they eventually expelled the ice magic faction to preserve individual autonomy.
Wow, alleged telepathic battles. So what does this obscure occult history mean for you today?
Well, looking at the mechanics, Carroll's system perfectly mirrors modern cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, the clinical idea that thoughts aren't facts.
Right, and that shifting your internal narrative actually changes your material reality.
Exactly. And it also beautifully describes how we are currently building artificial intelligence. And advanced AI shifts between specialized personas, depending on the task, completely unbound by a singular identity.
Chaos Magic was basically a prescient blueprint for consciousness
It
architecture.
really was.
So it all comes back to that software patch, which leaves you with something pretty wild to ponder.
Oh, definitely.
If you can just put on and take off deeply held belief systems like outfits to bend reality, what does that say about the core identity of the person wearing the clothes? Are you the outfit, or are you just the empty space inside it?